Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this another episode of the XLM Continuous Intelligence Podcast. In this podcast, we will explore some interesting topics, specifically on how frugal, efficient, and robust AI can be used to solve very large and complex problems. And we will also, interestingly, challenge the notion that bigger is always better when it comes to AI. We'll delve into some examples of the power of a certain combination of machine learning and operations research to solve very difficult logistical problems. And we'll also try to convince you to embrace the prescriptive way to solve industrial problems analytically. My name is Anand Natarajan. I'm your host. And with me on this podcast is the eminent Dr. Nikolai Van Omme, who is the CEO at Funartech. He has a doctorate in the esoteric field of mathematical optimization and operations research. So welcome to this podcast, Dr. Nikolai.
Thank you very much.
For the common man, can you define what optimization is?
So there is a field called operations research or operational research that dates back since the Second World War and even beyond. But let's say the Second World War, it's about optimization, mathematical optimization. So the idea was to optimize the way you could kill someone or not to get killed. And the logistic behind this, it's a huge field. It's really applied mathematics to optimize industrial processes. It's not very known, although, fun fact, machine learning, which is quite known nowadays, stems from OR in the sense that 10, 15 years ago, and there is no dispute about that, it was a subfield of OR. So machine learning was a subfield officially of operations research. So I would say the fundamentals of ML comes from OR. And the tools that are used in ML, most of the optimization algorithms are coming from operations research. That's the link between the two. It's a huge field. And I would say in some domains, like for instance, airlines, they are not flying planes without OR. So they're using OR for computation of the shortest path, for the schedule of their crews, or the optimization of their maintenance, things like that. Actually, it's really very helpful, very efficient, and in some domain, it's quite heavily used.
Yeah, and I think I can see the example that you gave, the airlines. It's definitely something that is needed to solve practical problems to minimize their costs and maximize their profits. So it has direct implications on how they operate. Yeah?
Yes, exactly.
So, transitioning now, given the optimization piece, transitioning to LLMs. Now it's the most current topic, LLMs and machine learning and transformer technology. In your viewpoint, are LLMs the panacea to all our problems that we have in the real world today?
Short answer, no. I would even say, what's the next question? No, I'm kidding. So we're talking about a technology that hallucinates a lot. A technology that, for instance, if you give it the word strawberry and you replace all the R's by W's and you ask the LLM, how many R's are there in a word without any R's? Probably you'll get some surprises. The LLM is probably going to tell you, oh, there are 2 R's or 3 R's. So we're talking about a technology that actually is not robust at all. It's a wonderful technology, specifically for the interface between humans and robots. It's also wonderful to speak, talk, and do some things. But basically, it has so many, I would say, limitations that for sure you cannot use LLMs to solve anything. It's completely oversold. For instance, optimization problems. So people try to optimize some problems with LLMs. The thing is, it's a big topic. Lots of research is done, but the results are poor. LLMs are not robust enough. LLMs don't understand enough the technology behind optimization to create real optimization models and to be really, I would say, successful at optimizing. It doesn't work, simply. The other thing is that I don't think that this technology is really the way forward. And I'm not the only one to say this. I mean, if you listen to Yann Lequin, he's saying the same. The way it's built, it's a very nice idea to have some contextual pattern matching, but it's not enough. And it's not the way forward to AGI, for instance. I really don't believe in this, but it's a belief. So you never know. What might happen is that maybe if we combine LLMs with other technologies, which people are trying, then maybe we can get something. But I would say that I don't like the fact that LLMs are huge models because I don't believe in huge models. So maybe it might work, but we're using a bazooka to kill a fly. So I think that other approaches that are more clever and that ask for less resources, especially data, are probably the way to go. And then for real intelligence, I really don't believe that LLMs will do it. So no, you cannot solve everything with LLMs. No, despite what Sam Altman is saying, it will not lead to AGI. It's a nice tool, but it has some limitations. And I believe that those limitations are really intrinsic. So you cannot overcome them within the ML field. That's my belief, but it's a belief. So you never know. But anyway, the results today are poor.
So I think, yeah, it's surprising that, like you said, there's a lot of hype around the AI, LLMs particularly. And I think this knowledge that we have, it'll take a while for the general public, for it to permeate and realize that there are these kind of limitations and it's only applicable in a certain space, right? Similarly, what are your observations about the limitations of machine learning?
So machine learning is a wonderful field that is really important and necessary, but again, it's oversold. There are quite some limitations, like in every field. Operations research also has limitations. Every field has limitations. I would say some really clear limitations in my mind. One, you're not really able to optimize with machine learning. People do that, but when you know that you have other tools like operations research that can optimize up to 1,000 times better in a more efficient way, why would you use ML when you have other tools that already exist that are better? So for the optimization, machine learning is an optimization. It's brute force. It's local search. While with OR, sometimes you can have global optimization. That's one. The other thing is that it's based on data, which is a strength, but also a weakness. Because if you don't have the right data, if you don't have the right quantity of data, you're stuck. It can be a strength, but in reality, it's really not happening often that you have that quality of data and the right quantity of data to do things. So for me, it's a weakness. Also, you have some knowledge. How do you ingrain knowledge into those models? It's extremely difficult. If you stay in pure ML, basically you cannot do that. It's almost solely based on data. Then there is this robustness problem because ML is not robust at all. You hope that you are able to get some insight from the data, but actually you don't know if you are really able to do that or not. And sometimes ML is giving you a really good solution, but sometimes it's crap.
Wow. Okay.
It's not working 100% at all. For me, using only an ML solution to do some, to construct some solution for the healthcare is completely insane. I want a robust solution. If I'm detecting cancers or anything like that, I don't want a 80% success rate.
Agreed.
So the robustness in ML is a big, big problem. Then, of course, you have the problem of explainability. Most of the time, your algorithms, your models are black boxes. Might be a problem, might not be a problem. Another thing is, how can you control the AI coming out of ML? It's extremely difficult to control the output from an ML algorithm. So for me, all those are weaknesses, limitations of ML.
That's interesting. So it's quite revealing what you've just said about LLMs and machine learning as far as limitations are concerned. Now, given these tools do provide some capabilities in certain areas. So I know you had talked about the approach of hybridization. So given these different tools that have their own idiosyncrasies and limitations, how do you cobble a solution together that with this hybridization approach that really solves real world problems?
So first of all, hybridization, there is no consensus about what hybridization is. When people talk about hybridization, hybrid AI, they might talk about things that are completely different. So in my view, when I'm talking about hybridization, the idea is to use several fields like machine learning, operations research, causal theory, statistics, other fields, and to combine them in a fundamental way. Each field has its limitation, his weaknesses, but also his strengths. The idea is if you understand on a fundamental level what their limitations are and what their strengths are, maybe you're able to combine them in such a way that the strength of one field can actually alleviate the weaknesses of another field. That's the idea. For instance, I said that ML is not robust at all. So if you are looking for robustness, a pure ML solution is not going to do it. OR, on the other hand, can be very robust. So you can use the robustness of OR to construct a solution with ML and OR combined in such a way that the end results will be robust.
Quite interesting. Okay. And I know you've had some practical applications of this, Dr. Nikolai. So we had talked about one of these supply chain optimization projects that you did at Toyota. And I think Would you be able to give the listeners an overview of what that entailed?
Yes. So we worked with Eishin Toyota Japan for 2 years, and they have lots of problems, of course, to solve and optimize at Toyota. One of them is to optimize the transportation of the automobile pieces. So they are constructing their own pieces. They're also constructing automobile pieces for other manufacturers, car manufacturers. And their main problem is the sheer volume. I mean, it's completely insane if you know how many pieces they are producing every day. So they tried for 2 years with the best teams, and no one could actually figure out how to optimize the whole supply chain. They created a contest that we won, and we started working with them, and they told us, okay, we're going to give you a little piece of our supply chain. Maybe you can optimize this. And we told them that, yes, maybe we can. But if you are optimizing a small piece of the supply chain, actually, it's not going to help you. It might even become a bottleneck. So why not try to optimize the whole supply chain for the transportation of automobile pieces? At that time, we didn't know that they tried with the best teams for 2 years. So they thought that we were completely crazy. But because of our way of combining ML and OR, we found a solution. And after 4 months, we already got our first global solution. So at the end, we were able to optimize their supply chain for the transportation of the automobile pieces by 53%. Now, I must say that 53% was with some data we didn't have. So we had some estimates that were wrong. So at the end of the project, when they trusted us because they didn't give all the data up front, but at the end of the project, they trusted us. They gave us all the data. So we fell to 30%. So officially, the number is 30%. But the thing is, I'm convinced that we can go to the 50% of cost reduction. And moreover, it's also a robust solution. And it's a solution that you can compute in a few minutes on a laptop. So one reason we launched the company is because we truly believe that there is a frugal way of doing AI. So bigger is better is the common motto nowadays. This is the current trend. We don't believe in this. So we use very small models. And for Toyota, this is exactly what we did. We use small models. This is why it only lasts between 4 and 10 minutes on a laptop to optimize the whole supply chain for the transportation of the automobile pieces for Toyota.
That is amazing. And you touched upon the frugality, the theme that you always come back to. It kind of makes a lot of sense now, because if you talk about the recent developments with DeepSeek AI, right? They also kind of dispel the notion that bigger is always better to solve complex problems, and you need these vast amounts of resources. So this is truly a revelation, right?
I would say when you're constrained and you don't have any choice, then you'll find a way. This is exactly what happened with us, because when we started, no one believed in what we did. And so we were on the edge and we said, okay, you don't believe in what we do, we'll show you. And we found clever ways to combine ML and OR in a frugal way, because we didn't have the money to pay big servers. So we didn't have any choice.
So constraints
yes.
and necessity are the mother of invention, as I said.
Exactly.
Said, yeah. So given these several moving parts, and the AI field is ever morphing. Right? Every day there's something new, something that comes up. What, from your vantage point, what do you foresee as the future trends in the whole AI ML space?
So it's funny because in a way, of course, things are moving very, very fast. But in another way, for us, things are moving very slowly. Because we came with this idea of hybridization, hybrid AI, the way we do it, which is quite particular, I would say, since a few years now. And it's still not recognized despite the results. So for us, it's going quite slowly. So, of course, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I mean, it's a very difficult exercise because you never know what will come. My hope is that people will start to realize that there is not only ML, but other fields like operations research, causal theory, and others, that when you combine them, you get better results. And that bigger is better is not the right way of doing things. So there is a way of using small models that allows you to get better solution quicker. And the way we do AI for the moment is not really sustainable. So many people don't care about this. They only care about the results. But the thing is, frugality is often, I would say, correlated with efficiency. So if we only talk about efficiency, in my mind, there is no doubt smaller models can lead you to really better solution. We did some projects where we beat ML teams. We did some projects where with small models, we could solve problems 1 or even 2 orders of magnitude higher than state of the art. My belief is really that small models can lead way further than big models. Also, the combination of OR and ML should be extremely important, especially that with OR, you're able to model the knowledge, which is extremely important because you will not find that kind of knowledge in your data, or if you do, it's a little bit a waste of work because you already have that knowledge. So when you combine ML and OR, you are able to combine the knowledge, the know-hows with the insight of the data. And this allows you to get way better solution. I also believe that the current trend will not lead to AGI at all. I don't believe that LLMs are going towards AGI. I do, however, believe that hybrid AI could lead to AGI. Not sure it's a good idea, but I think our chances are way higher with certain kind of combination of OR and ML, hybrid AI. I believe that there are some interesting models, approaches that could lead to AGI. And today.
So I think what you're alluding to here, Dr. Nikolai, is a real paradigm shift away from the status quo of LLMs, big models, ML, transformer technology. So this is going to be a real shift that we will probably see. And hopefully. These may be prophetic words, Dr. Nikolai, from your side. Yeah. So this
time will tell.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just said time will tell. You don't know what's going to happen. No one knows.
And that's part of the allure of this field. I think every day is a new beginning almost, with new developments, new technologies, new tools, new concepts even. So I think you have to keep a pulse on what's happening in this area. But I think today's discussion has been really an insightful conversation, Dr. Nikolai. And it's quite clear that the intersection of AI, ML, mathematical optimization, it's not just about solving equations. It's about actually really transforming industries and solving some real world problems, right?
Yes.
Huge thank you to you, Dr. Nikolai, for sharing such deep expertise on how AI and hybridization drives smarter, efficient, and more efficient solutions.
Well,
I think
pleasure. Thank you.
So to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this discussion, keep sharing, keep exploring, and until next time, keep optimizing and keep innovating is all we can say in the AI space. Thanks, Dr. Nikolai.
Thank you. Bye.